Action.
Welcome to Off Camera, UC Film Society radio show all about movies. I'm Ollie.
I'm Jake.
I'm Cam.
And we'll be your directors for this episode. This week we'll be joined by Ella Crane, a third-year film student here at UC, and the marketing overseer in the UC Film Society. Welcome, Ella, to our studio here.
Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you going?
Going all right. Going well.
That's good. So, Ella, you've given us a little bit of a rundown on yourself as a filmmaker. So,
Yes.
you are a third-year student, as we've already said. You work as a liaison in the press gallery at Parliament House.
Correct.
So you liaise with producers and talent who appear on Sky News evening shows.
Correct, I do, yes.
So what's that like?
Honestly, without trying to get fired from my job, it can be a bit of a mess. No, it's great. It's a great way to network, and I've networked a lot with them. When really all you do is you liaise with the producers throughout the day, starting from the morning to about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Then you go into work and you're there, maybe for 50 minutes or for the rest of the evening, working with guests and setting them up in the studio to go on live TV. So you're working with live TV and live producers and this whole technical team that's not there with you in the room. They're in Sydney. So you're by yourself, only with the comms to help direct and liaise with people. It's an easy job, I'll say, but it can become a mess very quickly.
It sounds like it's really setting you up for being able to multitask and do a bunch of cool things in the future.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Like, our two studios aren't even in the same room. We have one studio on one side of the press gallery and the other one all the way on the other. So,
Helpful.
yeah, very helpful. We're trying to fix that problem, actually, at the moment. So,
Yeah,
it's great.
I've heard that the press rooms in Parliament House are really expensive rent.
Yeah, they are. And the studio spaces are really small, too. So, only a couple of studios have a big one. The rest have to kind of go somewhere else to have a studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. And then you also worked on a TV show filmed here in Canberra at the end of last year. So tell us a little bit about Austin.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I heard about the job while working at Sky. I still work at Sky. I don't think I'll ever leave that job, first of all. And I was kind of pushed on to By George Productions to do some internship work for them. However, they got booked for nothing and they were a bit lost of what they can do because they couldn't really offer me an internship. And I wasn't asking anywhere else. I was only asking the people that I know. So they pushed me off to a line producer for this show and said, give them a call. They might have something for you. At the time, I thought it was just going to be something that By George does, which is just small little productions and videos and stuff. So I gave this line producer a whole rundown of what I do at uni, and they just went, we're not looking for that, but we're looking for someone to do a production running. And I went, oh, yeah, sure, I'll do it. So I sent in my resume and CV and all my other documents that would, help her get to know who I am and what I do. And within the before October, so in September, I got a call saying that I was going to be on the show starting on the 15th of October. So still within uni semester, so multitasking at the start. And it was great. I enjoyed it. I was still kind of doing what I did at Sky, which was liaising, kind of being the admin, the face of the production when getting consumables for production teams and crews. And also just working really close with cast members and traveling them to and from set and to their hotel that they're staying at. And I even managed to get a couple people from uni on to work as well there. So I think two from here managed to get a job and work. And they did pretty well. And it was great.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Setting yourself up and setting other people up.
Setting
It's
other
great.
people
That's
up.
what
In that.
That's what networking's about.
Exactly. I was nice enough to let other people get the job too.
You're like, I'm not going to take it all for myself this time.
No. I mean, we're all learning. I'll give it to other people as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great fun. Great 3 months. Great pay.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Rolling in the money.
Yeah. And so you've put down that you are interested in directing and recently into prop making.
Yeah, I've always been into directing. I mean, when I was younger, I used to do acting every day, pretty much my whole life. And then getting older and coming into college and then discovering filmmaking, I fell out of love with it. So I kind of moved from acting into the directing side for stage play while still at college. And then coming to uni, I wasn't too sure if I wanted to continue it. I really thought I would like camera. I thought I would really love it. And then in the first year, more specifically after the first year, I realised, oh, nah, I don't want to do camera. Screw that. It's boring. It's not like it's boring. I'm so sorry.
No, it's
I'm
pretty
so
boring.
sorry, Cameron.
Yeah, I don't know why anyone would do it. It seems really like it's such a
I mean,
boring job.
to be fair, if you don't like have the interest in like composing a shot and you just want to have the big picture and tell a story, it can be like not boring but tedious. And when things are tedious, they can then seem boring.
There's also a level of technical stuff, and then that
and
gets like really involved, and then you're dealing with so many other things, and it's just like a lot of people. It's not for everyone, and that's fair enough because there's so much to do. But also in directing, it's more of like a people job, and people, I know others enjoy that a lot more. I know, Jake, you're pretty keen on directing, but also throughout our year, there's so many more directors than cinematographers or sound, even editors. Sure. Everybody wants to be a writer or a director.
Yeah, it's kind of bad, but you know, it's good too.
But it's great because then you know that a lot of people are confident.
Yeah, for heaps of different perspectives as well.
Yeah.
Exactly, different styles and looks. So not everyone's the same.
No.
I will say being a former actor must be really good for working with actors when you're on set. You know, I hear a lot of times that it's recommended that directors take acting classes, so it must be really good for you.
Yeah, it's really beneficial.
Yeah.
It's great because you can work on a level with them.
Yeah.
Unlike...
You know how to speak to them.
Yeah, I know how to speak to them, but also it's like I look at the script in their perspective as well, not just a creative perspective. I look at it like, oh, how would someone do a character and how would they say this character?
No, it's really cool.
Yeah. And as well with prop making. So I'm, for my third year for professional practice, I put myself in a very sticky position to wanting to do a short film instead of like a client video. So I've written a whole script and it's going to be filmed in the next couple of weeks. And for that, I have to do a lot of prop making. And over the time working on Austin, I watched the art department, you know, pull apart tags off of alcoholic bottles and beer beverages and all that. And I kind of found, you know, I asked them a lot of questions about it and how they did it. And it's really easy and simple. So I've kind of fell in love with working in the props and art department as well. It's kind of fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually being able to physically make something and get hands-on. Like filmmaking can be it's a digital medium when it's a finished product. And so a lot of the time you're working through equipment or with computers and stuff like that. So to be able to actually like do some craft, like it's like you get both versions of art. You get your digital art and your physical art, and it's cool.
You get both. It's great. Yeah. It's a win-win.
So Ella, what is your favorite movie?
Oh, my favorite movie would have to be Lady Bird.
Great movie.
Directed by Greta Gerwig.
Great movie.
I think it's one of my favorites. I think what interested me in it was the kind of the relationship that Lady Bird had with her family and her friend choices. I kind of related with her a lot when I first saw it. And also when I first saw it, I kind of wasn't digging it because, you know, I wasn't really into the coming of age indie movies at the time when I first saw it. And I didn't, like, I knew Greta Gerwig was an actor, but I didn't know that she directed as well. So I wasn't too sure how I felt about it. And then I watched it a lot and it kind of grew on me. And I love the soundtrack. I love the soundtrack so much. But it's a beautiful film.
It is. That's a film that gets better, one, when you rewatch it more and more, and 2, when you age more and more.
Yeah.
So, and I just don't see that ever stopping. So the film's just
No.
going to keep getting better. I think it's the coming of age story for our generation, like truly.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And that's what my mum said too when she saw it with me.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful film, and if people haven't seen it, I'd recommend to see it.
Lovely.
Mm.
Do you have a favorite director?
Oh, yes. Obviously, I have over the time gotten really attached with Greta Gerwig and how she
Mhm.
directs a lot of literature. She loves literature, but also how she really keeps the eye on what it's like to be a woman. She does it really well, and she really knows how to, make it subtle but still a really big message. I've always liked, and it's very like basic, Christopher Nolan.
Too basic.
I know, it's so basic, isn't it?
Jake,
But he's
Jake hates Christopher
not a fan.
Nolan.
well,
He-
I see that.
Oppenheimer is his least favorite movie.
I've only seen it once, and it was not
Oh
good.
yeah, definitely.
And, yeah,
was.
and you don't like Tenet.
Oh, that's a bad movie.
No,
It's
Too,
too
too
confusing,
complicated.
too
Too,
confusing.
yeah, pretentious.
yeah.
The day that Jake says, I don't like Christopher Nolan, seriously, he's going to the hospital. I'm taking
Yeah.
him to the hospital.
You'll need to
'cause
check his
something's
heart rate.
wrong.
Real quick, back to Greta Gerwig. Have
Mhm.
you seen the movie Frances Ha?
I have not.
Okay,
It's
I
on.
highly
It's
recommend.
on
That's,
my
Quite
watch list.
possibly the only Greta Gerwig movie I've seen.
she didn't
which is-
direct it.
I know,
but
I know.
No, she was,
she's
yeah.
in it. Her husband Noah Baumbach did it. But
Yes.
that's another great coming of age story. It's a bit like later than Lady Bird. It's like mid-20s, late 20s. As good as Lady Bird, in my opinion. So
I'll have to give it a
definitely check
watch. I
It
will
was
check it
very
out.
interesting
Yeah.
when I saw it.
Oh, you've seen it as well.
Yeah, I saw it. We watched it for reading movies.
Oh.
Yeah. And it was one of the only reading movies films that I liked.
We watched Little Women. Greta
We
Gerwig's Little
did.
Women for reading movies.
I
so
love
I
that.
like that Gerwig's always in there. I love that movie too.
I love
So good.
the script, the
Yeah,
writing
it's-
style, and
yeah.
how it was laid out.
The structure is really good.
It was stunning.
Yeah.
And this is not something you have to have an answer for.
Yeah.
We ask all our guests anyway,
Mm.
but often it takes some time to think. Do you have a favorite actor? Because I know as a filmmaker, often we actually don't have favorite actors because they all do
Mm.
something different and special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Tough question.
It's a really tough question.
I just sort of had to make it up. Like there are so many actors.
if I have to, does it have to be one? Can it be two?
No, you can have a couple of
Okay,
actors.
okay. You guys, have you seen The Crown?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay. You need to watch The Crown. It's really good.
I know you're obsessed with it.
I'm so obsessed with it. It's my life.
It's on your story
it
every,
is.
every
I
other
got to
day.
go see the props and oh, so good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, they were doing a sale for it. They were selling all the stuff
Yeah,
because
cool.
now it's over.
Sad.
But my two favorite actors, Claire Foy.
Claire Foy is great.
Claire Foy is amazing,
Mhm.
and Olivia Colman will always have a
Yeah.
special
I mean-
spot in my heart.
Olivia Colman is just
One of the best we have.
Yeah.
such an incredible actor.
Watch her in anything. She'll be unbelievable. Great,
Oh,
great choice there.
oh yeah,
Mm.
she always has a special place in my heart.
Mm.
I love Olivia Colman.
Well, thank you for sharing those.
You're welcome.
Now, have you been watching anything recently?
No, guilty. Though, on my flight back from the UK, I did watch Priscilla.
Mm.
That was it, and then I slept the rest of the flight. Because it was on my watch list for a very long time. I love a lot of Sophia's work.
Mm.
I've admired a lot of her stuff, so I wanted to watch it because I never saw it in cinemas, and everyone was saying, "Oh, it's really good. You should watch it." So I watched it on the flight, and they were right. I loved it. I really loved it. And would I watch it again? Yes. Would I watch it again right now? Probably not. But
One of those films that needs to settle for a while.
yeah, it's pretty, in your face. I'm not saying it's like really in your face,
Right.
but the topics that are discussed and Priscilla's life
Mhm.
is just, it's kind of for me daunting and scary that happened. And she produced it, right? Priscilla produced it.
Yeah,
Or
and it's based off her biography that she wrote.
Yeah,
so,
I was saying it's
she was
based-
heavily involved in
Yeah.
the making of it.
It's very interesting that Elvis and Priscilla, these two movies about this couple,
Completely
came out
different.
with such within such close proximity to one another, but
Oh,
they're
yeah.
so different.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just amazing.
Two very different filmmakers too.
Yeah, but I would always pick Priscilla. I didn't like Elvis.
I had to leave the cinema 20 minutes in, unrelated to the movie, and I haven't seen it since.
Yeah, I couldn't get behind it when I saw it. Elvis, but with Priscilla, you just, felt like I could actually sit and watch the story.
It also helps that Priscilla's like 45 minutes shorter, isn't it?
I think it is, yeah.
It's something crazy like that. Elvis is like
Elvis-
2.5 hours.
Jake,
It's
you
long.
okay? Advocating for a shorter movie?
Well, if a movie's better, if a movie's
Cam
better,
is death staring.
if a movie's better, then I don't care about the runtime.
The
That's
only
fair.
3.5 hour movie I'll watch is the Eras Tour. Sorry.
I respect that.
No, because we're gonna watch The Irishman tonight.
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 I don't think so. Jake, what have you been watching recently?
Quite a bit. You know, we haven't
It's
recorded
been a
in,
couple
like,
weeks.
2 weeks. It's less than I should have, but so started the newest episodes of Invincible.
Yes,
I've got a lot of problems with them. I can't lie.
Oh, intriguing.
I watched.
As Ollie pulls the knife out from under the table.
They just feel like they're juggling 20 plot lines at once, and it really is annoying me. But we can get into that another time if you want. I watched the first Mad Max film for class. I really liked it. I did a presentation on it. I'm a fan of those movies, and it really reminded me of Sam Raimi's The Evil Dead, in terms of like what they did on a low budget. It's definitely different genres, but I really liked it. And in preparation for Kung Fu Panda 4, I watched the Kung Fu Panda trilogy. I hadn't seen this in so long.
Sorry, did you just say Kung Fu Fan?
You did.
Yeah,
Kung
that
Fu
guy
Panda.
swear I heard that.
Sorry. Great movies, all in all. The first one's definitely the best, far and away. Definitely one of my favorite animated movies. The themes are so good. The voice acting's great. All the stuff. It's just pretty much a perfect movie. I don't think there's a better scene than Tai Lung's escape. That might be one of my favorite scenes ever.
Thoughts on the soundtrack for that scene?
Amazing. The
soundtrack. You know what the track's called?
What is it?
Tai Lung Escape.
I
But
didn't
it's
know that.
so good.
The second one, it's good. Like, I like it, but it's definitely my least favorite, which I feel like is
It's definitely a
definitely an
controversial
unpopular
opinion.
opinion. I see
Really?
people liking this more than the first one, and I'm like, all right, well,
I'm on
Yeah.
that bandwagon.
Yeah,
though.
people.
I will fight you over that.
the-
Like, I think Kung Fu Panda 2 is better than the
Yeah,
first
the
one.
general rating is
I liked
213.
the ending.
well, 3 was my second favorite. I love this movie. I had never seen this one, even when I was a kid. I
Wow.
love this movie. Kai's theme is one of the greatest.
Yeah,
things I've
and
ever
J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bryan Cranston as the dad. Like,
True.
that movie's so good, and I thought it was so underrated. But yeah, 2 was good too. Gary Oldman as Shen is great, but I just thought the message was really good, but it just wasn't executed as well as the first one and then the third one. I went to Ben's Soviet screenings. They're every fortnight. We watched The Color of Pomegranates. Soviet film from the 60s. Really strange film.
Is this the 3.5 hour one?
No, this was only an hour and 20 minutes, maybe even less. It was like
I
the
forget.
closest thing to poetry I have seen on screen in terms of like how it was filmed and how it was done. Really interesting film. It like lost me in some bits, but as a whole, really good, really stunning to look at. I also watched Bottoms, which was a teen comedy that came out last year.
very
with-
highly liked by the audience.
Yeah, I loved it. Great movie. Rachel Sennett and Ayo Edebiri, I think that's how you pronounce it. From
Yeah,
The Bear.
she's been popping off lately.
Everything,
Mm.
and they have great chemistry together, and this was just like such a fun high school comedy. And then after I watched Superbad because I was like, I want another one of these, and this is like my favorite because it's just everybody I love, so funny, such a great movie. And then I watched Dune Part 2 once again.
You've got such an eclectic mix of films.
Yeah,
as
I know.
well.
This
Yeah.
is probably your most wild, like up
Yeah.
and down, like
Yeah.
as in variety up and like.
For sure.
But I think it's great.
Yeah.
Like to go Kung Fu Panda, Soviet film, Bottoms, Dune Part 2. Like
Yeah.
it's fantastic.
And then Mad Max.
Mad Max
Well,
is in there.
That
as
was for
well.
class, but yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good week of watching.
Cam, what about you? What have you been watching?
I watched a couple of things. So let me just find this. So I also watched Mad Max.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't enjoy it as much. I'm
You
not
were
a
playing
big,
a video game during it.
Oh,
That's because
Called out.
I had things.
Yeah.
You know what? That's fair. No, I was actually paying attention to it. The video game was definitely in the background. I was like, a prompt kept coming up and saying your controller disconnected. because it kept turning off because I stopped watching it.
Okay.
But
if you say so.
I didn't like it as much. It's more because I'm not a big fan of those like ochre Aussie movies.
Yeah, fair
just-
enough. You did
I
say
don't
that
know.
earlier,
Yeah.
so that makes sense.
I just don't enjoy them as much. But it was still really unique and definitely reminds me a lot of Wake and Fright
yeah.
with just how the action
Yeah.
goes along. But yeah.
I thought it was good because there was not a lot of dialogue in it, so I didn't feel that
Mm.
Australianness in the dialogue as much.
It's okay, Jake. Just because you're American, you can still say ochre.
I just don't want to.
Ochre.
Yeah.
Is that? Yeah. Yeah.
Because then that would happen.
Just point at me every time you need to say it. Yeah,
Mhm.
I got you. But yeah, I first started it and it was like a police chase because I've only seen the other ones, so I was like I didn't know what I was expecting. I was like, did I click on the right movie?
Because it's like modern.
Yeah, because it was like there's police cars and there's like radios and there's like it's a
Yeah.
town instead of a desert
desert,
with
yeah.
the immortal Joe. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I didn't like it as much. I gave it 2.5 stars, which is it's still not too bad. But yeah, I also watched Asteroid City. Now I 100% agree with the comments that you made on it last season when you said this is the most Wes Anderson film
Yeah.
Wes Anderson has made.
It's perhaps too much Wes Anderson, in my opinion.
Yeah, the intro,
Jake.
like the first 40 minutes was
Crazy.
really hard to like get a grasp on what the actual story was.
Yeah.
But I'd have to say the best part is definitely Bryan Cranston,
Oh, yeah. he's good.
especially that one shot
Yeah.
where he's in the desert and then I forget the names of the characters, but Scarlett Johansson and
Mm-hmm.
the guy, I can't remember.
I know who you're talking about.
You
Jason
know him.
Schwartzman, the
Yeah.
main guy.
Yeah, no,
Oh.
they're at the showers and they're talking about
Oh, right.
what she does as an actress.
Yeah.
And then it just like pans over and Bryan Cranston's there.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, am I not in this one?"
Yeah,
then he-
yeah.
Like that
There's
tiny
some
little
good jokes.
moment.
I think it's maybe his funniest film.
I found it really funny.
because I haven't watched it yet, and part of the reason is like I love the Wes Anderson movies I have seen, but I know they can get kind of just like not heavy in the same like they're whimsical. Wes
Mhm.
Anderson
Yeah.
is whimsical, but they're not always funny as well.
Yeah.
And so it's good to hear that. That'll make me more likely
This
to watch
was
it.
definitely pretty funny.
See,
as far
I'm
as
the
they go.
opposite. I like it when it gets heavy. I like it when he mixes it.
Oh,
and
yeah,
this
true,
one
but-
didn't really have any. It does have depth to it. It
You
just
can-
didn't hit me.
You can see that in the
Mm.
ratings of when we did the Royal Tenenbaums.
Yeah, I just enjoy his movies
Yeah.
differently, which is fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I gave that 3.5 stars. So
Yeah, it's a
I
so-
definitely
it's a solid
recommend
movie.
watching it.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's on Netflix.
It's on.
It's
Netflix
also on
now.
Disney and Plus.
They took it off.
Oh, they took it off. There you
Oh,
go.
no.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
I'd recommend it
Yeah, it's solid.
Cool.
if you're in the mood for a weird movie.
If you like Wes, it's just
But
more
it's still
the style.
pretty funny. Yeah, yeah.
I like the alien bit a lot.
I did. That was pretty
Yeah.
good. The amount of cameos in it though,
Yeah.
it's like they just
Stacked cast.
come out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Like,
they'll get the most famous person ever. I don't want to spoil it, but like they get.
I mean, if you look up the cast list,
Yeah.
you can see it.
Margot
but-
Robbie's in one scene.
Yeah, I
So,
remember that.
yeah.
Like
it was
when
like
it came out.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when
Which
it
is a
came
really
out. They
good
were like,
scene.
"Yo,
Mm.
Margot."
Yeah.
And then Jeff Goldblum, and he's in one shot,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
just
But all
out of
those
nowhere.
guys love working with Wes. I think
Yeah.
they'll do anything.
It's
for free.
the Willem Dafoe cameo. It's giving
Mhm.
me Brendan Fraser in Killers.
not as extreme, but yeah, in terms of the voice,
Oh no,
the
definitely
performance.
not.
Yeah.
But it's that same kind of vibe. Like we're already most of the way through the movie.
And then some famous guy out of nowhere pops up.
Yeah, and then it's
Mm.
just like distracting, and I can't think of anyone else but the Green Goblin. Like,
You're always thinking about the Green Goblin, aren't you?
no,
That's true.
I haven't seen the Raimi Spider-Mans in a long time.
That's a sin.
Wow.
I
That's
did
a
watch
sin.
What?
The Raimi Spider-Man
Cinema
movie.
sins
I
over
watch
here.
those every single year. I'm literally make sure. I'm like, have I watched them this year? No. Okay, I have to watch them.
We're watching this week. No, oh, might as well.
Jake actually doesn't sleep.
He doesn't. No,
To
no.
rest, he watches the Raimi Spider-Man.
That's true.
movies.
Yeah. That sounds about
Then
right.
every
Then
night.
I can't sleep while watching. 'Cause it's
Yeah, I know.
so
You're
good.
rest. It's
Oh,
a
right,
rest
right,
for you
right,
because
right,
it's
yeah.
just so
Yeah, so
cathartic. and-
pleasing.
yeah.
Have you done your watching? I don't know. I left for like
No, I haven't done mine yet.
10 minutes.
So in these past 2 weeks, I watched 6 films.
Nice.
And they are also a bit
Eclectic.
all over. Yeah, a bit eclectic. So the first one I watched was Arrival.
Oh man.
We had just been talking
Mm.
about a lot about Denis, and you had raved about Arrival, and I was just like, I want to watch something that is on my watch list, well acclaimed, that I've been meaning to watch for a while. And I was in that sci-fi mood, and I watched it, and wow, it actually
So
blew
good.
me away.
Yeah.
It's way different to how I expected. Fantastic story, the acting's great, and the CGI is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I was a bit surprised by the cinematography in that, like, the shots all look great, but it feels very dim,
Mm-hmm.
like, just all
Mhm.
the time. And I don't know if that, like, I mean, I imagine it would be a choice, but it's almost too dim sometimes. Just like it's like they just turned the saturation down,
Yeah. So
and
yeah.
it was a little bit
Yeah.
like, I would have enjoyed watching it a little bit more if it had been a bit more vibrant.
I couldn't agree more. That's one of his only movies to not be shot by either Roger Deakins or Greg Fraser, and you
Yeah.
can tell.
Yeah.
If one of those guys shot that movie, it'd be a full-blown masterpiece.
Yeah. But like, yeah, like halfway through I was like, this is confusing but enjoyable. And then by the end I got it, and
Yeah.
it was really
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 hits
good.
Yeah.
I have a little gripe with movies about that. Like, I know.
I mean, it is very much like sci-fi. The humans are improved because of the interaction with
Yeah.
aliens. Like, that is pretty much the definition of sci-fi.
It's more the darkness in movies. Like,
oh right, that's what you
even-
mean.
even when was it? I went to the cinemas recently and saw a movie. I forget which one it was.
Madam Web.
Maybe, but it was even in the cinema. It was too dark to see properly
Yeah.
what was happening on screen.
It wasn't too dark to see. It was just like they'd turned the saturation down. Like, the colors
Oh,
weren't
okay,
very
right.
bright.
So it was very
Like, you could see everything.
blue,
Yeah. Well, yeah. So
great.
it was more grey
okay.
rather than blue. But yeah, it was just sort of like the saturation was turned down. And yeah, like, I got it in some scenes. Like, when they were in, like, pretty much the entire sequence in the field by the ship,
Mm-hmm.
like at the military base. Yeah, sure. I understand why that's sort of dim and foggy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, there it makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But at the start, when she's just in her house or she's at the university,
Mm-hmm.
or I guess, like, the scenes where, like, spoilers, it sort of projects into the future, they're all still quite dim. Like, it could be a bit brighter color wise and a bit
Mhm.
more.
There is
Just
just
have a
looking
bit
at
more
some
contrast.
stills. There is a little bit of orange in
Mm.
the like just at the university,
Yeah, but it's more like,
but everywhere else, even
it's
at
like
our home,
light.
it's-
It feels more like like light brown rather than an orange. Like, it just, maybe I'm just
Oh,
used
yeah.
to, like, orange and teal, but I'm not advocating for orange and teal. I just want it to be a bit more colorful,
Mm.
just like a little bit. But
Yeah.
other than that, I loved it.
Yeah, that's such a good movie.
then
Amy
I
Adamson's
watched-
so good in that.
Then I watched The Shawshank Redemption.
Perfect movie.
I think so. I think
Yeah.
it's actually, there's nothing I can
It's just
fault it
flawless.
on.
Yeah, it's flawless.
It's such an amazing story. The fact that it came from a Stephen King, like, short story that he sold to, I can't remember the screenwriter's name, but sold to the
Frank
guy.
Darabont.
Yeah, Frank Darabont
I think.
for, yeah, it is Frank Darabont. That he sold to him for $5,000, and then he went on to make The Shawshank Redemption, this, like, 2.5 hour movie that you're just hooked into the whole time. And I don't know if you guys read my review. It made me appreciate film, like,
Shooting on film.
Shooting
I did
on
see
film.
that, and that made me
Which-
really happy. I saw that. I was like,
finally.
but yeah, we've had extensive discussions about how I think, like, most of the time,
Mm.
film, they're just doing it to be like, we shot on film.
We're
Mm.
so cool.
Yeah.
No.
Whereas, like, a lot of
think
the
it's cool.
time,
cool.
Yeah, that's
especially
pretty cool.
recently, like, shooting digitally,
Mm.
it's not hugely different unless you're shooting, like, on IMAX film, which is specifically bigger and scaled differently and done
Yeah.
in a specific way. Just shooting on, like, 35mm, it's like you can get that same sort of appearance digitally
Mm.
and with less damage to the environment, less effort when filming, blah blah blah.
Speaking
But-
of, real quick, I watched a little behind the scenes of Knives Out. That's all shot on digital, but they did a bunch of tiny little things, like the little shutter movements you get when you're doing film, the grain texture, the halation in the highlights. They did all that in post, and it looks. Honestly, the first time I watched it,
Exactly.
you can't tell.
Exactly. So that was proving my point. But then I watched Shawshank, and it's like, it's in the prison, and it's really grainy and it's gritty, and you get all those things, all those filmic aspects, and it just works really well. And so I think it's not that I think, oh yeah, film, like shooting on film is really cool and everyone should do it any chance they get because it makes every film better. But it's more like, if it suits the story and it's going to make the film a better experience, yes, it works. Like, I don't think you could get that style of visual that they had in Shawshank on digital. And then, like, on the opposite end of the scale, Dune 2, I don't think you could do that digitally in quite the same way. You could sort of, because a lot of it is just CGI, but what is shot on film, or maybe like Oppenheimer, like that IMAX, shooting on IMAX film.
I was going to say the film that cannot be named that definitely pulls all of its strengths from shooting on film, but yeah Oppenheimer. Yeah, that's what it was. Hang on, did you say Dune 2 shot on film?
Was it? No,
it was shot on the Alexa 65.
I was in my head confusing Oppenheimer and Dune 2, so that's why I then said Oppenheimer. Yeah.
He was the one who built the family nukes.
Yeah.
Was this your first time seeing Shawshank?
No, it was my second. I had seen it before. I loved it the first time I saw it. My parents showed it to me, and then I was literally just sitting down. I was like, I need something to do. I'd been wanting to watch Shawshank again for a while. I was just like, I'm just going to do it, and great, fantastic decision. Yeah. Good job, Ollie.
That is a movie everyone should watch, even if you don't like appreciate film. Just like any person should watch, not just any. I mean,
it's just if you like stories, it's a great story. Yeah. It's such a fantastic example of humanity in films, and it's like, these people aren't perfect people. They're not they're not outstanding members of society or anything, but they're all compelling, and you want to watch them and you want to root for them as well. It's like, no, I'm not even going to get into it. I'm not even going to mention my film that shall not be named, starting with TD. So then I next did a marathon of Kung Fu Panda.
Did I inspire you to do that?
I had already been planning on doing it, but yes, in a way, you inspired me to do it when I did it.
Okay, cool. As long as I had an involvement.
Narcissist.
You just got a giant cardboard cutout of Jake in the corner.
Yeah, he just sat on the couch with me. And
like never mind.
There's not much I can say about these movies because I just absolutely adore them.
Yeah.
But because I watched them all in one day, which I haven't done for a while, if ever, actually, I really came to notice the differences between them. And in the past, I would have ranked it first, second, third, and first and second would have been really close, and third would have been a bit further down.
Yeah.
But having just watched these recently, it's like first, and then second, third are equal, like just below it. And I gave the first 5 stars and both of the other two 4.5, because I just think
he's upset.
The third one really, like, on rewatch and reflection, especially looking into like the messages, because that's really what Kung Fu Panda as a franchise is about.
Oh yeah,
like its messages to the audience. It's a kids movie. Like that's what they're all about. But this franchise does it so well and so particularly. I feel like the third one has a stronger message for the audience than the second one. Now I think there's things that the second one do better than the third one. And I think there's things that the first one does better than all of them, and I think there's things that the third one does better on a technical level and on a voice acting level and blah, blah, blah. But I just think when it comes down to the message, I actually think the ranking goes first, third, second. And that's something that surprised me. I was very intrigued by that when I watched it, because anytime I've done a rewatch, it's always been first, second, and then I might watch the third. But now it's like that is a definite part of the trilogy that I will have to watch. And like you said at the end of your review, Jake, it makes me especially intrigued for number 4, because it's sort of like a sending off point for Poe and for like everyone. It's like, it's not that he gets to a point where he dies and then like that's the end, but it feels like a very safe place to end it. They could have just left it and not done any more, and no one would have been like, oh, I wish there was a 4th movie. But they are making a 4th movie. Well, they have made. It's out.
Yeah.
And so I'm intrigued to see it. I still think it's going to be really good. I just wonder how it's going to compare to the others. I don't think it's going to be a bad movie. I just think there is potential that it won't live up to the other three.
Yeah.
But after that,
agree.
the most recent movie I watched 2 nights ago. I watched Speed, 1994, Keanu Reeves. And it was really interesting. I watched it with my mum and my brother. And my brother, while we were watching it, was like, it's very cliche. And I sort of had to remind him that, well, this would have been one of the earliest movies of that style to come out.
That this is where the cliches came from.
Yeah, this is where the cliches come from. So it's not cliche. But I do, at the same time, understand. Because I feel like even if you had watched it in 1994, it does have those elements of like, this feels a little bit contrived. And it's sort of like, I mean, it is a silly action movie that's just done to like have a fun experience. And I enjoyed it. I felt it went a bit long, is all.
Fair enough.
Not in terms of runtime, just in terms of plot points.
It's an hour and 56.
Yeah, plot point. Like, it's sort of like, it feels like they hit the ending and then there's more.
Yeah, it just keeps going.
Yeah. But I did enjoy it. I gave it 3 stars.
Solid.
And then I've been watching Invincible. I rewatched all of season 2.
Nice.
Up to episode 6. I've been loving it. I understand what you mean about all the different plot points. There is a lot going on, but I think they balance it nicely. And I also think we're still in the middle of the season. There's still 2 episodes left.
Feels like we're in season 6 right now.
There's 2 episodes left. They're going to wrap it up, and it's going to feel really nice.
Yeah.
And then season 3 is already pretty far along the way, and we won't have to wait another 2 years for that.
I don't know about that.
No, it's coming out.
Yeah.
It'll come out earliest end of this year, sort of like season 2 did.
Yeah.
But it'll probably come out.
I'm enjoying
next
it.
year.
I also miss Omni-Man, but that I know he had to go away for plot reasons.
Yeah, I mean, he shows up at the end of episode 6.
Yeah.
Briefly.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Too bad.
Keep up to date. Watch Invincible. It's
come
a
on.
fantastic show about. It's a coming of age.
The more you
story.
tell me to do it, the less I'm going to do it.
Okay, well, screw you.
Don't watch it.
Yeah,
I
Cam,
won't.
I think you'll hate it. Don't watch it.
I already hate it.
Yeah, good.
Thanks.
But it's definitely a coming of age story, but it's just also really cool animation and like cool concepts for a superhero show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now that we've all talked about what we've watched recently, why don't we discuss one particular movie? Ella, we play a game called Pick Your Moment.
Yep.
Where the concept is, if you had one handful of popcorn and it stayed fresh throughout the entire movie, what is your popcorn moment where you were like, this is such a riveting moment, or such a intense moment, or such a powerful moment, or just such a funny or quiet moment where you feel like, this is the moment I'm going to eat my popcorn in this movie? And so it doesn't have to be like your favorite scene or the best moment, but it can just be,
It's your moment.
yeah, it's your moment.
Pick it.
My moment.
Nice. Thanks, Cam. And the movie we're going to do is Incredibles. The Incredibles.
The 2004 Disney Pixar animation, directed and written by Brad Bird, who
Brad
also
Bird.
voices Edna Mode,
I love Edna
which
Mode.
is just an
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah, what's your moment?
fun.
Every moment Edna's on screen. Just
Every moment. Yeah, of
Milk.
course.
best character.
All valid picks. Those scenes are great.
Yeah. So,
Ollie, do you want to start us off?
yeah, I'll start us
Yeah,
off.
you start.
My moment is, it's pretty straightforward. It's the moment Mr. Incredible finds out everyone's, like all the other supers are being picked off.
It's great. It's great.
I was gonna say that.
He's in the cave, not the cave. He's in like the hideout, and he's at the computer, and it flashes across the screen, and we see a couple of people that we've heard about earlier, and we see how many superheroes there have been, and then we see that they've all been killed by this one robot.
Yeah.
Just iterations of it. It's all the same thing, which then means we know it's by some particular person. Like, it's all going to be one person that's killed off all of these superheroes. And that's really intense. And the soundtrack in that moment, and the lighting and the acting, I mean, I know it's animation, but the voice acting in that moment,
Everything.
it's all really good. It's very intense. and I like it. And then I like the goo bubbles that
Yes.
happen after that.
Oh my god, the sound of that
Yeah.
those bubbles.
Yeah.
It was-
Yeah,
Because
they-
it looks
they
like
look
it should be
big
like
boba.
like a
Yeah.
putty or something, but it's like a sticky
Yeah,
air.
they look like big
something.
boba. It's
Yeah.
really it's really satisfying.
I did see a meme yesterday.
Boba.
of
Yeah.
Giant boba. This is the thing that Mr. Incredible gets
Yeah.
stuck in.
Yeah. So that's my moment, and I think I stole Ella's.
Yeah, you stole my moment.
It's happened before.
Yeah, I'm sure it
Stealing
has.
People's moments.
This is
Yeah.
It's
this is the
normally me
tactic, though,
stealing
for this,
from them.
For this game, the tactic is to go first.
Yeah.
You made me go first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
you just
'Cause-
yeah.
But you didn't pick mine, so I'm.
I'm going second
Oh,
'cause I don't want to get my moment stolen.
fair enough.
Um,
Gotta think
It's
again.
gonna be
I was
Ella's
half
next
good. You
moment.
can go.
No, you go because I actually have to think now.
Okay. First off, love this movie. Definitely my favorite
You can
Pixar
still
movie.
pick the same moment.
I probably
By
will.
far my favorite Pixar movie. It's like not even close.
The Incredibles.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
My moment is when Elastigirl.
We know yours is Toy Story. It's okay.
Toy Story's a good pick too.
Toy Story's great.
Yeah.
Actually, no.
Mm.
But
oh
Say-
wait,
say-
isn't it Coco? No, what is it?
If it's
What's-
Cars 2, I'm gonna
go back and listen to the episode. It's not Cars 2. I promise you.
I
that.
could find
Cars
it.
is good though.
Cars is it's such
Cars 1 is good.
Oh, it is Cars.
a Cars marathon is something that a lot of my friends have been doing recently, and I don't know why, but
It's good.
it's such a good idea
Yeah.
because they're 3 movies. They're really easy to watch, and if you've
Yeah,
got
yeah.
time, you might as well.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Any animated trilogy or series binge is always really fun to do.
Mm.
Anyway, my moment is when Elastigirl is on the plane on her way to Bob, and she finds that Violet and Dash are in the plane with her, and then suddenly the missiles start coming, and she's
Mm.
trying to protect her kids, and it's
She's screaming into the mic.
really, really hectic, really just so stressful out of nowhere. I feel like there's nothing before that that's even close to
It's
being
when
that
it sort
level
of becomes
stressful.
an adult movie in a way.
It's when it becomes, the stakes become so high because you're like, oh my god, these kids could die. You know, she could die without Mr. Incredible knowing. Yeah, and the way that scene is edited, the voice acting, like you said, it's really intense and, you know, really memorable. Really
Yeah,
great,
awesome.
Really great filmmaking.
Great pick.
Also
And then
some
right
great
after
stakes.
that, Dash turns into Elastigirl turns into a boat.
I know.
And
Yeah.
Dash just
so
kicks the
iconic.
water, and it's
So
hilarious.
So iconic.
Yeah, yeah, that's my moment.
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
such a
okay.
cool use of your powers, though. Like,
Yeah,
Just
if you
turn
can
into a boat.
like stretch and whatever,
yeah.
Become
Yeah.
a boat.
just become a boat.
Yeah, what does Mr. Fantastic do? He stretches long
Yeah.
and punches things.
Like I said, this
Boring.
is a better Fantastic Four movie
Yeah.
than we've ever gotten.
Yeah.
The best
Ooh.
Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
So far,
Until
we shall see.
Guys, you think it's gonna be better than Incredibles? That's
We'll
a wild
see.
take.
We'll see.
We'll
I'm
have
not,
to rate
I'm not
them.
saying it definitely will. I'm
Okay.
saying
It could.
we'll have
when
to
it
see.
comes out, we'll do a double deep dive.
Double deep dive.
That'd be crazy.
Sounds
Okay,
fun.
Ella, what's your moment?
Well, obviously the one that you said with the whole. I can't believe you said that. I was actually a bit shocked. But I think my other
Read your
moment
mind.
is when Mr. Incredible's fighting the robot and they're like down in
Oh,
the
man.
lava area
For the first time,
For the
yeah.
first time.
That scene is awesome.
I remember seeing it like the first time as a child, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is cool."
That scene's
And
really
it's
intense.
actually
too.
quite scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's scary,
Mm.
but I was like,
Forgot about that one.
you know, he's a hero.
Yeah.
He's gonna win, and I had doubts, as of course when I first saw it, and he won. But I think that's
He pulled through.
people
Whoa. Spoilers, guys.
Oh, I hope.
How
It's
old
not
were
like
you
the
when you
movies-
first watched it?
It's turning 20
Well, okay,
this year.
let's just say it did come out the year after I was born, so I didn't see it until I was probably like 4 years old.
Okay, because when I watched Kung Fu Panda for the first time, I had to leave the cinema because it was too scary.
Oh,
And so when you were,
oh.
I know,
Tai Lung is scary.
Tai Lung
is
is scary.
scary.
It was the scene on the bridge, which is one of my favorite scenes in that.
That's a good scene.
But yeah, I thought you were gonna say something like that.
No,
like it
I
was
mean,
too
I
scary
did see the
in that
half,
moment.
not the Half-Blood Prince, the Order of the Phoenix as a child. I went to the cinema. I was the only kid in there.
Terrifying movie.
I
Yeah.
stayed there the whole time.
Nice.
It was
I was
so
just
good.
a little wimp.
One of my
I was
favorites, though.
like-
One
Yeah.
of my favorite Harry Potter movies.
Yeah, it's
So
my
good.
favorite.
It'd probably be my second
There
favorite.
you go.
Prisoner of
I
Azkaban.
love
will always
Order
be
of the
supreme.
Phoenix. Anyway,
I love how we went from Incredibles to Harry Potter. Just like, okay,
Both key
so
movies
your
for
moment
me.
was the fight under.
yeah,
in
the fight
lava,
in the
volcano.
lava.
Great choice.
Yeah.
Okay,
Cam?
so you kind of stole my moment, but not really.
Dang
A
it.
more specific moment in that scene
Mm.
is when Mr. Incredible is getting stretched out by the robot,
Yeah.
and then he cracks his back and he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, now I'm back into it," and then he whoops the robot's ass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we'll
just
grab
a
in the moment.
chiropractor.
Yeah.
And then he celebrates later after beating him, and then
Yeah.
he freezes up again because his
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
So good.
There's so much comedy.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
my favorite thing in movies is just like when you inject just that little bit of comedy. So it's like it's a serious movie or it's an action movie or it's this or that, but it's also got moments of levity and
Mhm.
light where you can just laugh. And I
Yeah.
think that's quite possibly why Taika is my favorite director.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Like, I know he does a lot of comedy,
Mm-hmm.
but he also has some very serious
Yeah.
movies like Jojo Rabbit,
That's why Jojo
Yeah.
Rabbit's
which is
his best, in
still
my opinion.
really funny, but it's so serious and
Oh,
it
yeah.
handles the material really
Mhm.
well.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's a great moment.
It's I love the memes that come
Yeah.
out of it as well.
Yeah.
I also love the montage where Bob gets his life back together. and
Yeah.
That the music in that scene is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, that is.
Iconic
Yeah.
mean,
soundtrack.
There's so much to love about Incredibles.
Mm-hmm.
It's like earlier Pixar.
Yeah.
It's
We're
their best.
just
It's their
killing
best. It's their best.
Oh yeah.
So just a note on my favorite Pixar movies, I should say, for Ollie's sake.
I would scroll
a
back. It's Cars,
tie,
isn't it?
No. It's a tie between 3.
Oh.
Okay.
So Ratatouille,
Ratatouille.
Ratatouille.
Wally, and Coco.
Okay, so I was right with
Wall-E.
Coco.
The intro song to Wally, which is called "Put on Your Sunday Shoes."
From
Your Sunday,
Hello
Sunday
Dolly.
Shoes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello Dolly.
That first like opening 8 bars or so is amazing, and the imagery that they put it with the stars, because you wouldn't think that. It's you put it with the stars and you have the beauty of the universe, and then it suddenly you come down to Earth and it's all polluted and desolate, and it then becomes diegetic part of the scene.
Yeah.
I don't think I've
Amazing.
watched
Beautiful.
Wall-E for like 15 years.
Well, you should rewatch
You
it.
need to watch it again.
It's
Like
really-
actually though,
It's really good.
so good.
Yeah.
Not like my.
I should just do a Pixar marathon.
you should.
I love Pixar
Ratatouille
movies.
is-
Ratatouille
Ratatouille.
is
Masterpiece.
just so good.
Oh my.
I have like a favorite scene from each of them, but like the Ratatouille scene is when he's coming up out of the sewer and discovering Paris.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like a montage,
Yeah.
but without cuts.
the single long tracking shot of him running in between the walls of the houses and up pipes, and combined with the score.
Brad Bird, man.
Oh my god!
King.
So good.
Yeah, Brad
Iron
Bird.
Giant.
Brad Bird killed it
Mm.
in those days.
Yeah.
Actually, who did the score for Ratatouille?
Michael Giacchino.
Michael Giacchino.
I don't know.
He's
how to-
done so many.
Yeah, his score for the
banger
Batman is
movies.
unbelievable.
Mm.
And he directed that like Marvel like
Yeah, the
short film
Werewolf by
Werewolf by
Night.
Night, which was really cool.
Looked cool. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know they came out with a Werewolf by Night in color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Which-
why?
which-
That's so
Yeah,
good.
it defeats the point
purpose.
because it was black and white for a reason.
I
Yeah.
can't believe
Mm.
that he allowed that. You know, I feel like the choice to make that in black and white
Yeah.
was stupid.
But that was his
involvement.
directing
Studio
debut, and it was really
involvement.
cool.
Yeah.
And the score was really good.
I would
But
like to see
his
more.
scores are fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So,
So that-
next,
That's picky moment.
yeah, that was Pick Your Moment. We flew through that, but it's a fantastic movie, and we've all got fantastic moments. So well done.
A little bit of movie
Yeah.
news.
Movie news.
I'm gonna swap it around because, well, I also need to add something to it in
Okay,
a
go for it.
document.
Just
But
dive right in.
the first thing is the Fall Guy.
Mhm.
That trailer, I watched it again. I'd recommend it.
Yeah.
It's such a cool concept.
The movie's getting amazing reviews.
Yeah,
at
I
South
remember
by
we
Southwest.
Oh my
talked.
God,
We
it's-
talked about this
did.
before, like SXSW. I don't know
Yeah.
what that's actually called.
South by Southwest.
South by Southwest. Before that, which is when like the rave reviews
premiered,
really
yeah.
started going off. I remember talking about it like because I'd just seen the trailer, and you were like bagging on it. You're like, nah, it looks kind of silly.
Yeah,
and blah, blah, blah.
I'm happy to be proven wrong.
and yeah, now everyone's saying
I
it's
hope you are.
fantastic,
Yeah.
and I'm definitely gonna watch it. I did see some things that say it like sort of falls off like
Yeah.
2/3 of the way through, but they say that doesn't matter because the
Yeah.
first 2/3 are just so good.
Yeah. I do think that first trailer that we were talking about is not a good trailer, but
That's
they've
fair.
released some trailers since then that are better.
That's what I'm
And
talking
then
about.
I saw the reviews and I'm like, okay, you know, I can get with this. If it's not like a specific type of humor that I hate in those kind of movies, I'll be with it. And I mean, I'll watch Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt and anything. So if they're like really funny and really, you know, charismatic in it, then I'm sure I'll enjoy it, even if it's
Mm.
not the best
Two
movie.
Oscar nominees as well from this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also the Fall Guy is currently 38th on IMDb.
Well,
So
it hasn't come
for
out
a
yet.
film that
Wow.
hasn't been released, that's really high.
Based off like
Mm.
how many reviews though?
7.
It doesn't say. No, this is just popularity. This is
Oh, popularity. Okay.
people looking for it.
Oh, I
Right.
see. Oh, that's
still
cool.
38 is still really good.
Yeah.
for-
It is a great concept for a movie.
Yeah, it shot up from 167 in the past week.
Yeah,
Wow.
no, I'm excited for it. I
So-
hope it's good.
Yeah. Also, the trailer for The Acolyte, a Star Wars TV series, also came out.
Did you guys watch this trailer?
I watched the
did.
trailer.
I haven't seen it. Is
I
it
watched it cropped on TikTok. It was a bad idea. Don't
it
do
good?
that.
Does
It looks really good.
There's a lot
It's,
more.
it's in the High Republic, so it's like 100 years before the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's essentially about them fighting the Sith, but they don't know the Sith aren't extinct. So it's like this threat that they don't understand anymore,
Mm.
and it shows the beginning of the downfall of the Jedi, essentially.
But it's
Mm.
very like lightsaber oriented, unlike the recent shows, which are more political.
But at the
slash-
same time, well, okay, yes,
Yeah.
in terms of like action versus politics,
Yeah.
but they're also very heavily showing the Force, not in like the mystical sense, like in Ahsoka, which was cool. It showed one specific aspect, but they're just showing like the different ways the Force can be used. And so like they're focusing heavily on like how Jedi are martial artists
yeah.
and also peacekeepers. And so they're not going to draw their lightsaber unless they absolutely have to.
Mm.
Otherwise, they'll just fight using the Force.
Is it more Andor or more Ahsoka?
I
in
would
terms of-
say it's a mix.
I'd say it's a mix, but leaning more towards Ahsoka in terms of like
Right.
the Force versus the politics and the rebels
Okay.
and stuff.
Interesting.
But we won't know till June 4 when it comes out, unfortunately.
I'll have to check it out.
I'm excited for it,
Yeah, I'll
but
check it out too.
I hate to see people bashing on things that haven't already come out. Like, there's I've seen a lot of videos of people going, this is going to be the worst thing they've ever made. This looks so dumb.
Well,
I've
Star Wars
seen
fans are-
some
really-
more.
Star Wars fans are really harsh
Yeah,
on
Star Wars
stuff
fans
that come
suck.
out.
It
which is
is a
unfortunate.
terrible fan base.
It's the worst.
Except for the Hayden Christensen love. I love that.
Recently.
He didn't get love
Recently.
at first.
No.
I
no.
saw a post that was like there's a shot of him at, I think it's Star Wars Day a couple of years ago,
Sure.
where the crowd is so loud that he and support for him that he started crying
Mhm.
because it's the caption was like finally the voices of the children that grew up with him and loved him
Outweigh.
grew louder than the adults who
Grew up with no.
who watched him grow up and hated him or
Right.
something like
Yeah.
that. Something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's such a terrible fan base. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's a
Star
horrible
Wars
fan
fans
base.
Easily the worst.
I did see
Yeah.
some like political commentaries on it that were like, they're touting like all this Asian representation, which is great. But it was, I've seen some Asian people like commenting on it saying like, there are Asian characters before this that haven't got as much respect, and like we shouldn't be focusing on this as just like a wow, Asian representation. And I don't know, I can't speak to their struggles with representation and stuff like
Yeah.
that, obviously. And I didn't get the full sense of what they were talking about, but I just saw that was some comments that were being made. And then some people are getting upset that Leslie Headland, the director, was like a personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein or something.
Oh, of
And so
course.
they're getting upset because of that. And I don't know her story or anything like that.
Mm.
What I would assume is that Harvey Weinstein probably was grooming her or something like that. So she might be a victim. I don't know. I don't know what the story is.
Right.
I think we should not just judge directly straight away
I agree.
and find out more, watch the show,
Mm-hmm.
see how it goes.
Another
Tell-
trailer that was released. Did you guys see the Penguin trailer?
I actually haven't yet. I've seen
Is this
lots
with
of people,
Colin?
Yeah.
They released a trailer.
lots of people hyping it up. I haven't managed to watch the trailer yet, but apparently it's really good.
It looks amazing. I cannot wait for this show.
I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
watch this when we finish.
Came
recording.
out 2 days ago.
Yeah,
It looks amazing.
Oh, is it gonna be exclusive to HBO though?
but
No,
that's
it'll
on
come
binge.
It'll come out on binge. Or
Yeah, if it's on
whatever.
HBO, it'll be on binge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Foxtel.
One of the two.
One of the two.
Tends to be on both.
Which I have both, so I'll give it to you when it comes
Oh.
out.
Well, binge is just so expensive. It's one of the most expensive streaming services
There you
here
go.
in Australia.
Oh,
Which is
yeah.
I don't pay
Insane.
for it.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
But-
I use
But-
someone else's.
Yeah.
My
But binge is the
parents.
HBO here.
Yeah, They do have
Yeah.
quite a lot of things on there,
They've
which
got
is fair.
heaps.
Yeah, they got.
If you are
they got
looking
good
for
stuff.
value, though, Amazon Prime, not getting paid with them, I promise, but
Mhm.
they are the best
No
value.
free
they're like
sponsors.
$9 a month. It's
It's
insane.
like 8 or 7.
even then, and it comes with free 2-day delivery. Like Jeff Bezos, I know you're like abusing your workers, and this is probably why. Actually, I'm not gonna.
And stop there.
And we're done.
I know you're
End of
abusing
discussion there.
And the next bit of news. Nikon is. This is. I know we're really late to this, but this is something that kind of took the cinema world by storm. Nikon is acquiring Red,
Yes.
which is just like what? So
It
there's
just
a-
came out of nowhere.
It
Yeah,
did.
it did.
They were
It
just
was-
like,
and
yeah,
it
we're
blew
doing
up
this.
too
and everyone's like,
everywhere.
what?
Yeah, it kind of just came out of nowhere, and there's kind of a bit of backstory behind this. So
Mm.
Red has a patent for internal compressed RAW in cameras, and everyone's kind of annoyed at them because of the way that they do it. It's not a specific algorithm that they use. It's just the process that everyone else was using, and Nikon had a lawsuit with them about it. So they just decided to buy Red, and now they've become a subsidiary of Nikon, which is really weird.
I
And
mean,
people,
it's interesting, but I feel like it's sort of the same way like VW and Porsche.
Volkswagen Group, yeah, that kind of thing.
It's like, yeah, they are owned by the same parent company, but they're doing their own things.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's probably just like Nikon had the money. We're like, we don't like your lawsuit. We're just going to own you and make money off you.
Yeah.
You keep doing your thing, but we're just going to own you and make money off
And
you.
some
Mm.
people don't understand how big Nikon is compared to Red. Red had a revenue of like 130 million something in the last financial year, where Nikon's was closer to like 2 billion. And that's just like, people didn't know that. They're like, oh, how can they afford Red? It's such a big company, but it's really not. I don't like the memes that came out of it though. Like I know
There was some good ones.
There were some
there
good
were some
ones,
pretty
I
good
will
ones,
say.
but Nikon cameras, I don't like people bashing on them. They're really good cameras and they make some awesome lenses.
Mm.
I don't know.
I think-
like it's
I
funny,
think-
but
Nikon is more well known for its photography cameras.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
And so I think
Yeah.
people were just like, why
Why
is
is
this
it-
photography brand buying cinema cameras?
Well, that was the
Yeah.
whole point.
But yeah, like
'Cause-
maybe they want to make cinema cameras
yeah,
and they
'cause
don't have the expertise, so they
Sony-
acquired a company that does.
Yeah.
Sony and Canon already do it. And I guess, yeah, if they have another kind of company that's already doing it
Yeah,
for
it's like
them, then
they've
they
got
don't.
their cinema branch now.
Yeah.
Instead of having to make them, they just have Red.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They can still focus on what they've been doing, but then they've got another company that they can kind of direct and make them have more of a, I don't know, more Nikon.
Yeah, they can now
Brand.
compete
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
probably
we're
compete.
still having,
in the cinema like line.
which is cool.
Yeah.
We'll have to see because this is all speculation at the moment.
Yeah.
Like, we know they have acquired them, but we don't know if they're going to be making their own stuff using Red
Yeah.
like technology, or if they're just going to let Red do its thing with Nikon budget.
Yeah. There has also been a lot of speculation around that specifically and the use of the Canon RF mount on the Red cameras and if
Mm.
they're going to change it to the Nikon Z mount.
Which would be significant.
It would be really significant, but also Nikon doesn't really make cinema lenses.
Yeah, they
Where-
make really good lenses, but they're
They
not
do.
cinema
Yeah,
lenses.
they're all
Mm.
for photo, but where Canon has an amazing lineup, it's that the only issue is they've reserved the RF mount for they've blocked off all third-party development for lenses. So it'll be really interesting to see. I'm excited for it. Also,
Yeah.
side note, Fujifilm, please make a cinema camera.
Yeah. Now they're going to do it because they listen to this
Yeah,
one random
exactly.
podcast.
They're
Yeah.
definitely
And
going to
you
listen to
said
this
No free
podcast.
sponsors.
Also,
Um,
yeah, if you want to sponsor us,
Please.
I will not say no.
No free promo.
Please.
Well, why don't we jump into a bit of a game? Why don't we play some quick pitch?
Another one.
Yeah,
Oh.
I mean, our last game went so fast,
Yeah.
and this is a fun thing that we
I feel
like
it's
to
been
do.
a while since we've played this game.
Yeah, we haven't played quick pitch for some time. So, Ella, do you know how a quick pitch works?
No.
So, we are going to pick
We don't
as,
either,
as a
it's okay.
team an actor, a director, and a genre,
Right.
and we have to come up with the synopsis for a film.
Oh gosh. Really God. Okay.
Now, I've actually had a request for a director,
Okay.
and that
Who?
request was for Ron Howard.
From who? Undisclosed.
Undisclosed.
Okay.
Ron Howard.
Okay.
Oh,
Why?
okay.
That's so random.
I don't know why.
That's so random.
But that was the request.
The Da Vinci Code.
Yeah, he's
Grinch.
made a bunch of things.
Actually, this would be really
of
good.
Varying degrees of like public quality.
He makes a lot of family
Family-like films.
style films, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
Based off what I would, I think of
Yes,
more as-
Grand Theft Auto family movie.
Well, he's also an actor, and I can't tell if these movies are. I gotta find his filmography, the ones he's directed.
Yeah, so he's directed 49 films.
Jesus,
Wow, that's a lot.
more than Spielberg.
Yep.
Better than
one
Spielberg?
of them was better. Yeah, he's better. One of them was
These are the
Solo.
questions we're asking.
So he's done a
That's
lot
a
of
bad movie.
very controversial stuff.
I liked it though. I
Solo
really
sucks.
liked it.
Mm.
Jake's wrong, but anyway, he's
Jake
done
is
a lot.
wrong. Cone of silence. Shush.
He's done a lot of very
Familiar.
controversial stuff like Solo, where the audience is very split. He's
Mm.
done, probably his most famous would be,
Apollo 13
yep,
or A Beautiful Mind.
yeah.
Yeah.
So a bunch of big things like that.
Yeah.
But all with a big focus on family, kind of.
Yeah, he's a family movie
Yeah,
director.
yeah,
He
yeah.
did Willow. So
How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
yeah, How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Banger.
Banger
So
movie.
so this is
Hillbilly elegy.
I want to say
That
this
movie's-
is our director.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Cool.
Let's do it.
So
But we also don't have to necessarily have an actor as an actor or a director as a director,
yes, but we'll
Like
have
we-
Ron Howard as our director.
like we did with Ben Stiller. 'cause
Yeah.
he's
Oh, I
more of
love
an
Ben
actor.
Stiller.
Yeah, Ben Stiller's great.
Let's do. Ella, do you want to pick a genre?
Oh, no. You pick the
No?
genre. Don't get me to do that.
Well, while we figure out a genre, you can figure out an actor.
Okay.
How about that?
Okay. Yep.
So,
Deal.
Ollie, do you have a recap of the genres that we've already done?
Done like all the genres.
Recently
Recently.
we've done. We did Western. We did Christmas. We did neo noir. We did romance.
We've done a comedy,
We're
haven't
gonna
we?
move into.
We've done horror
subgenres.
Halloween.
Subgenre.
We've done horror, and it was for Halloween, so it was a Halloween movie.
Mm.
We've done comedy. Yeah,
Have we
they're,
done-
they're all the ones I've got written
Have
down.
we done specifically action adventure?
No, we've done sci-fi.
Okay.
I don't think we
action
have done
adventure is
action
more of
adventure.
like it's really generic. It's
Very
more of
broad.
like a
Yeah.
really big umbrella term.
Yeah.
What if we did just action or just adventure? Because I'd say like something like National Treasure is like that's an adventure movie,
Yeah.
but it's not really an action.
Indiana
movie.
Jones.
It's
is
an adventure detective mystery
and
kind of
action is Die Hard. So we could do one of those. Yeah. Adventure or action.
Or we could just do action adventure.
Yeah, and then just make a really broad movie.
Ron Howard sees 4 kids go up against the end of the universe in The End of the Universe, starring Billie Eilish. I know, I couldn't think of a name.
Billie Eilish.
Yeah, I couldn't think of a name.
Interesting choice.
And then my brain went Billy, and so I just went Billie Eilish.
Fair enough.
Okay, shall we do action adventure then?
Sure.
Deal. I'll make that deal.
Okay, so Ella, have you
Cool.
come up with an actor?
What actors have you done before?
Okay, so we've done Saoirse Ronan,
Oh.
we've done Liam Neeson, we've done Michael J. Fox, Ryan Gosling, Harrison Ford, Tom Holland. Yeah,
We've done Matthew
That-
McConaughey.
yeah, they're
We've
the
done
ones I've got
Oh.
written down.
Joaquin
What about
Phoenix.
Natalie Portman?
We haven't done her.
Natalie
I
Portman.
like it.
Yeah,
She's
Natalie Portman.
She's fantastic.
she is fantastic.
Mhm.
Amen.
Especially in Attack of the Clones.
Amen.
Jake,
You almost
Jake,
just made me curse.
Jake, you know, you're allowed to like let movies be, right? You don't have to
Yeah.
Do you
be
not like-
either they are really, really good or they're really, really
it's
bad.
fun to attack movies.
No, it's not.
It's fun to be a
I think
hater.
people have crafted these things, and even if you don't like them,
You're the
fun to
reason
be a
Star
hater.
I
Wars.
say,
You're the
this is
reason
the
Star Wars has
fan
such a
base right
toxic
here.
fandom.
No, I'm not on Star Wars Twitter. I'm on Star Wars Reddit. I just like to be a hater from
Sure,
time to
You're-
time.
you're
on
To
Star Wars
antagonize
Letterboxd,
you
but-
guys because I know
Star
you
Wars
like them
hater
so much.
23. Like, my goodness.
I'm
Jake.
playing it up. I love Star Wars.
Mhm.
Andor?
so
amazing.
you say,
Mhm.
still hasn't watched
Mhm. That he
Rebels.
just picks an unpopular opinion and flips it.
yeah.
How is it an unpopular opinion to not like Attack of the Clones? People hate that movie.
You haven't even watched Rebels, so don't even
I don't
talk
care
about
Yeah, you know what?
Rebels.
You're a fake
So-
fan.
So the plot: action adventure,
See, you guys are getting
directed by Ron
So
Howard,
dumb.
starring Natalie Portman. What's Natalie Portman's role in this? Is she related to someone, or is she mentoring someone, or is she a loner, or is she a loner but like she's chosen to be alone? So is she
Jane Foster? No, she has such a diverse filmography though.
She does.
Black
Swan.
Swan, Attack of the Clones?
Bluey apparently.
No.
Oh
way.
yeah, I think she's
She's
one of the people who's doing the voice for the audiobook.
Yeah,
she did a
she's reading.
voiceover for
That's so
the
real.
whale.
It's so cute.
Whale doco.
I wouldn't be shocked.
haven't.
She's done a lot.
She's just a big actor, so we can pretty much get her to do whatever.
Yeah, she's been in a lot.
So an action adventure, starring Natalie Portman, directed by Ron.
So
Howard.
it's a family movie.
Family movie.
Yeah.
It's probably playing, it's not a Christmas movie, but it's probably like one of those movies that you watch like in the holidays with
Like summer.
yeah,
Coming this
yeah.
summer
Yeah.
Yeah.
Summer blockbuster.
Lyle
to a
Crocodile.
cinema near you.
What made you say that?
It's been stuck in my head. It's such a it's one of the Boxing Day films.
All right.
It's like, just if you have nothing to do on Boxing Day, take the kids out to watch this garbage movie.
I don't
That's all
know.
it
I
is.
don't know, man. Shawn Mendes is in it. It must be good.
Jesus, man. See, I'm not gonna let a movie like that just exist. I'm gonna trash it.
No, it's good.
Wow.
He's opening Reddit right now.
No, say yeah. He's ready to
You got a
go.
straight face to that.
No, I could have kept going because I have no opinions on that movie because I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of opinions on the movie, and I haven't seen it. It's bad. Looks bad.
Anyway.
Come on, quick pitch.
Yeah, it's meant to be quick.
No, I'm
It's
just
meant to
trying
be
to get
quick, guys. Come
you
on.
guys angry.
You
my
could
job.
never make me angry.
Oh, I could.
Oh, that was
I'll
all
make
out
myself angry
chat.
by doing it.
I think you'll just make yourself angry. And
All
I'll
right,
just be
Jake,
sitting here
that will-
laughing
Yeah,
at
that's
you.
true.
To end this bit, we'll set it as a challenge. Make Ollie angry before the end of the season.
Yeah,
Easy.
All right, done.
there we go.
So, Natalie Portman, do we think, what kind of a role does
Jake's
she
just
have
gonna
in
say
this?
Invincible sucks.
Is she a mother figure? Is she a
daughter?
Daughter. Oh,
Well, it depends. She could be an only child with no children to Olivia Colman.
all right? Bet.
hey, Olivia Colman.
Oh. I would love to see them. Have they done anything before?
I have no idea.
I would love to see them.
They also
Slaps
have
keyboard.
enough physical similarities that you could cast them as relatives.
For sure. Yeah.
True.
I'm now curious if they actually have done stuff together. I don't think they have.
Okay, so she is the daughter of Olivia Colman. She doesn't have any family yet.
Yeah.
By the end of the movie, she'll have a found family.
Through an action-full adventure.
Yes, done. Send it off.
Well, what's the adventure? What kind of adventure? We're traveling from somewhere to somewhere. While
If it's
incorporating
summer,
action.
then maybe like a
Oh my
vacation.
Maybe she's on vacation,
Mm.
on holiday
Okay.
with her mum.
And her mum
And her
gets
mum
kidnapped by
that's
ninjas.
What?
Okay, I wasn't gonna say
Wow.
by ninjas, but I was gonna say
Okay.
and her mum gets kidnapped.
Okay.
If we wanted like a
Isn't
cool
this just like
location-
the
Maybe-
other one we did where someone's dad got kidnapped?
No, that was
You guys-
Yes, but that was a thriller.
different.
Like that was
Okay.
very
Okay.
dark. That was a very dark movie.
this would be light.
Yeah, this is you can watch
This is
them back
holiday
to back,
fun.
and like one you watch it and then you watch this to cleanse.
Yeah.
Even though it's the same movie, but it's holiday fun. Maybe, maybe Natalie,
To
maybe
cleanse.
Natalie Portman has a sibling who's died, and so Olivia Colman looks after the kids of her sibling, like her nieces, nephews, whatever, and she has to like take
She
them
has
with
an
her on the
older
adventure.
sibling played by Julianne Moore.
I'll say that or Anne Hathaway. They look identical. Have you not seen it?
Yeah.
They're so identical.
Younger
Yeah.
sib.
Let's
younger
go with
I
sib-
said
Julianne
older.
Moore.
If it was
There it
older.
is, Julianne Moore. Wait, actually.
Or we could go Keira Knightley
Keira Knightley.
because
is
they
more,
literally look
definitely.
identical.
Oh my god, Keira Knightley.
Nah, I think
The
let's go with
Pirates
Julianne Moore.
of the
And
Star
how
Wars.
she talks with her jaw.
I feel like you could do a very good Keira Knightley
No,
impression.
I can't.
I feel like you could though.
I
Like, you
could.
could work towards it.
I'll work towards it.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Next time you're on the podcast, you'll just speak
Yeah,
like
you
Keira
can-
Knightley
I'll
the whole
speak
You
time.
can be the
Keira
talent.
Knightley.
You
I'll
can
be
be
the
the talent
talent.
for the final film.
I'll
for the
just be Keira
semester.
Knightley for the whole podcast
For the
next
rest
time.
of the year, you should
Yeah.
just be Keira Knightley.
I'll embody.
Why
Um,
not?
Yeah, okay, so the only problem, we don't want this movie to be like pushing, oh, Natalie Portman doesn't want to be a mum, but after dealing with kids, she decides that actually there's nothing more important than being a mum. Like,
That's very rom-com slash.
yeah.
I would say
and it's
it's
also
a bit
very
rom-com
like,
of you.
it's very like,
Maybe she hates
it can
her
be
mum.
degrading. It might, like, not to everyone, but it can be. So we don't want it to be like that, but I do think we want kids along on this adventure.
So it's a big family gathering holiday.
Well, I think the family is Olivia Colman is the mom, Natalie Portman and Julianne Moore are the sisters.
Mm.
That's the whole family, and then Julianne Moore has kids.
This is a stacked cast. Those three. Wow.
And the kids are Zendaya and Tom Holland.
No, younger than that. We're going like 12. We're finally gonna get
12.
Walker Scobell,
Ooh.
Percy Jackson.
Also, like McKenna Grace.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, she's
McKenna Grace is.
killing it in Ghostbusters at the moment.
Oh yeah, she's just killing it in general.
Okay,
She's
so
great. She's a good actress.
Olivia Colman is kidnapped. Nah.
Poor Olivia Colman.
While on
I love Olivia.
holiday.
Yeah.
Natalie Portman,
Hey, whoa!
Julianne Moore,
Is he?
and
Yeah.
Julianne Moore's kids have to rescue her. I spelled rescue wrong. Unfortunate. Have to rescue her. How?
Have you seen Grimsby?
No.
I've never even heard of it. What
The
is
Brothers
it?
Grimsby.
No, just
Or
Grimsby.
Just Grimsby.
Oh my god! I imagine it's like the rescue escape scene in that one. It's a horrific movie.
I want to watch this.
You should definitely watch it. I
Yeah.
think it's on Netflix.
It looks good.
But I imagine it's that kind of light-hearted comedic escape
Definitely.
Mhm.
Definitely.
or
sure.
rescue kind of thing.
There should be a motorcycle involved.
There should be.
All of them stacked into a tuk-tuk or something.
Well, where are they going on holiday?
I don't
Yeah.
know.
We
It's
haven't.
open-ended
let's-
at the moment.
They could
I
be
don't
on
think-
a cruise.
Yeah,
cruise
no, not a
ship,
cruise.
A cruise ship, and Olivia Colman gets kidnapped off the cruise ship.
No, Aruba.
Aruba.
Jamaica. Ooh, I want to take her. Bermuda, Bahama.
What?
No,
I got.
you got it. You
I
go.
got you. I was gonna start singing it, but I didn't want to.
What song
Copyright.
is that?
I'll show you later.
Okay.
Kokomo.
Oh, okay.
Beach Boys. This is chaotic.
This is
Along the
great.
way, maybe along the way, Julianne Moore gets kidnapped as well by the same people, and so it's now Natalie Portman and the kids.
And the
Yes.
kids. Natalie
And
Portman,
when
the
they,
kids.
so Julianne Moore and
Olivia Colman are
Olivia
kidnapped.
Colman, they escape their captors,
How?
right? I'm not going to say how because
Right.
I don't know.
It's just gonna happen. They just managed to.
Well, there's antics. They escape their captors, and then Natalie Portman and the kids show up, and
Natalie Portman's like, yeah, kids are actually not that bad.
yeah, because
Mm.
she's having
she
to
had to mother them.
mother them for a bit.
What's another lesson she can learn other than kids aren't that?
mean-
something about, providing for yourself.
Maybe the
Appreciate
reason.
life.
Maybe it's more like
Yeah.
the reason she doesn't have kids isn't because she doesn't want to be a
'Cause
mother.
she's a bad mother.
'Cause
But-
she's,
They get, I don't know, they nearly drown in the pool or something while she's looking at it.
she's like looking the other way.
I don't know,
Yeah,
but
can you
it's
have a
something.
drink?
It's something like
She's sloshed. And the kids.
it's something like because like she doesn't want to be a mother, not because like of any like we don't want.
She's just had no interest in it.
It's something to do with like
A childhood.
maybe.
Why don't we just
I
do a
don't know.
childhood?
I don't know. It's complicated, but okay. So
We're working
They
dad
escape.
issues.
well, there's no men so far.
There's no father figure, so I mean,
yeah, maybe she's like, I didn't want the kids to turn out like me.
Yeah. Could be as simple as that.
And then she sees these kids and she's like, I'm still not going to be a mother, but kids can turn out all right with even if they've had,
Over
even
the
if their
space of,
parents
like,
have bad
2 days.
upbringings.
It's been 2 days, and she's like, "Oh,
Damn,
The kids
Kids are
are
actually
all
pretty
right.
good.
they're actually not that annoying as I thought they would be.
And then they take the same plane home, and it all gets undone.
I don't know. I feel
setting
like
up a sequel
we
here.
don't. I feel like we don't need to come up with the exact message. We just know that, like,
Well, if we figure out what's going to happen, the message
Yeah.
will find itself.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. That was
Mm.
That was lazy
But-
screenwriting,
but yeah, like, this is just a pitch. It's a pitch
Indeed.
for a movie that would be a
and
fun
it's
summer
quick. Apparently, we've been going
Fun-
for 20 minutes on
fun
this.
summer
No, I haven't.
activity.
Refuse to believe that.
So yeah, that's it.
What's it
We just
called?
need a name. Olivia Colman gets kidnapped, but Natalie Portman, Julianne Moore, and a bunch of kids are there to save her.
That should be the name.
movie.
Yeah,
The
that should be the name.
Once Upon a Time on Holiday.
You
Once
always
Upon a
say
Time
Once
on
Upon a Time, it's
Holiday.
it's classic. Ron Howard's best movie. That'll be what it's called.
Ron Howard's best movies.
What
the
kind
movie's
of-
name.
What
Yeah.
does he like name things?
Let's have a look.
That's not a good way to describe it, but
I know what you mean.
The Truth About Jim. It's the first one I saw.
Jim.
So this is the truth about Jan.
Yeah.
What are we discovering? What truth?
I don't know.
Kidnapped.
Doesn't matter.
Call it Kidnapped.
We feed
Kid-napped.
Yeah, that's actually a good name.
Keira Knightley, A Holiday Story.
Keira Knightley.
Keira Knightley.
Not in this movie.
She ain't in
Wait,
this
what?
movie.
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman and
Julianne Moore.
Julianne Moore. Oh yeah, we did that. Whoops.
I think I like kid-napped.
too.
Kidnapped.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of
Kid
That's
hyphen.
They
cool.
can take a nap in the middle of the movie. It'll be great.
But the kids never
for like
get
half
kidnapped.
the film.
Yeah,
It's actually them
Yeah.
just sleeping.
Yeah, it's a red herring.
Yeah, it's a red herring. Exactly.
Indeed.
Kidnapped.
All right, sick. Let's leave it at that.
Awesome. Kidnapped by Ron Howard. It's an action-adventure movie starring Natalie Portman,
Kidnapped.
as well as Olivia Colman and Julianne Moore, but Natalie Portman is our protagonist. And
Yes.
Olivia Colman gets kidnapped, and the rest of them have to save her.
I
Fun.
love it.
While on holiday. It's a holiday movie, summer blockbuster. Love it.
See it in theaters in 2034.
Okay, well, why don't you guys tell me a little bit about the Film Society? What's going on?
Oh my.
Thanks,
Sorry.
Siri.
Siri was helping with some things. Film Society stuff. We have trivia coming up.
We do.
What
April
date?
2nd.
April
April
2nd. That is in
April 2nd.
Oh, we need to
Next.
market it. We need to get some marketing out about that
5:30
one.
at UC Bar X. General film trivia. There will be questions of all sorts. So come along with some friends.
Especially next
It'll be
Tuesday.
the
Okay,
Tuesday
perfect.
after this episode comes
Yeah.
out.
Hopefully, people that don't know much about movies can still get some right. We'll try and make it somewhere in the middle.
I mean,
because
just-
know there will be a lot of
We'll
people
have a
there
bunch
that-
of categories in the movie.
Yeah.
But if you have any friends that know movies, bring them along, and that'll help.
Come and have fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Opportunities to
We're
win
all
bar
gonna be
tabs,
there.
which is always
Yeah.
fun.
All the film side is going to be there.
Yeah,
Yes, we will
Hopefully
be.
Ollie will be there.
Planning on it.
it's great.
Better be.
We also have a is there, I think there's one more Soviet film screening
Two more.
coming up. 2 more?
3. There's a
Three?
lot. Yeah.
There's a few.
I thought we were only doing 4 of them.
No, we're doing 5.
Wow.
it was
Okay.
5, so there's
Yeah.
Do we know
There's
the
3
next
more.
one, or do we
The
have
next
to?
one is this Thursday in 2v9. Well, it'll be out. It'll be done by when this comes out. But we're screening Andrei Rublev, which is a 60s Soviet film by Andrei Tarkovsky.
Mm.
3.5 hours. So
And what's the one that will be out after this?
you'd have to ask Ben.
Ben,
in 2 weeks.
keep
Yes.
keep an eye on the Instagram.
Yeah.
We're making posts up there weekly, so
Whenever you
Yeah.
hear this, just ask
Keep an eye
Ben
out.
about the Soviet screening schedule, and Ben,
And
and he'll be able to answer it.
I think we actually bought popcorn for this one, so
We did.
Fantastic.
Was it
get excited.
3
There'll be
hours.
free popcorn. Cool. Well, thanks for joining us for this week of Off Camera. Thanks
Yeah.
for being our guest today, Ella.
thank
You're
you.
welcome.
It's been great
Hope
to
it was
talk
fun.
about
Yeah.
your films, your favorite films, and what you've been
Up to.
up to
Mm.
in the world of film. That's
Yeah.
some very interesting things.
Yes.
Don't look at me like that. Okay. We'll see you next week. Wrap.
Bye.